May and Claire Lambert, number 840, prepared to start. Also score 56.4. Nothing to add, chair jumping. Score owned by Mr. David Lee.
They look to jump cleanly, so off to the land. That is the flower trade 21 hopes to complete, funnily enough. Corner, 8 on board.
And coaching the car up, and they're just trying to wasting no time at all. Getting underneath the brush block 18, but she stays there, not to the picnic table. And so we also pick up now
Fielding, funnily enough, the depth of the ball is right hand, they'll run up the hill now, big long,
in the lead on a very good back score, 35.2.
Why, what are you doing?
There's a horse coming.
Sorry, McCarthy and Bernadette, the Aldon chorus at 12, and the big parallel that follows, 5 for Freddie Beck, and on stage, 7 minutes 5 seconds, 15.69. Judge, whistles please.
As far as 3 lights, Vittoria Panizzon to Equi-Trek Hollow, steadies up, really getting on. Of course, she's getting a very good ride for it. And she goes through there, set us up, and now goes back into top gear to the TRG Lawrence at the fence 15. Lydia Cutter, is to Vivo's Joko Takara. This is a 14-year-old, and they're off the first 6 fences. The fence 6.
McCarthy, Bernadette, so far we're here, thanks.
And Elaine Wilson coming out to the Chequers box, and there's Eric. Over to the picnic table at the top of the course, and the result for Mikitas Optimism and Claire Wilson finishing inside the optimum time, and on a score of 67.4.
Happy Russian 8. They'll be next coming down to the dew pond, but before they get there, they have to jump that hanging log at 9. And you see the 13-year-old grey gelding splash through the water up to the first element of the viaduct, and a run out to the left at the second element. So they'll be turning round to represent.
Through the hollow, the Equi-Trek hollow, in Dutch, and Vivian Panizzon, roughly 25 in, onto the first.
Pass the line, clear at 40. Now run on though to the Georgie line. Harbour, fence 15 of 21 number fences.
And coming into the boat dew pond, scrambling in there, and coming out over the second element, to the Valda. Goes away to the hay rack at fence 11. And Wilson comes in with you as they approach now the Equi-Trek hollow at 14. This 7-year-old already gained 16 points of entry, and very neatly out over that combination. As we now pick up with number 827, and this is Stillbrook Ben and Antoinette McEwen.
Push on up the hill goes to the corner in front of Aldon. And just see the first glorious flight. Just down the side while glorious flight. Presenting the boat.
My favourite, I think, I don't know if they're black
Show jumping arena.
I quite like this colour. Yeah, that's Rupert's favourite. Rupert, stay there. Stay.
Season ticket, membership, and training, and prizes for
that was great.
the nannies and fuels and 13
Chequers, so carried on around the course. Time will be adjusted at the end of the round.
Yeah, but Emma can't talk about exits.
Stop there at 7 for Christina Cook, 20 penalties for free score 150.4.
And now picking up with Neville, now we've restarted the cross country. Is Bogdatas.
They're away as represent at 18 and no clear.
Now it's Bogdatas optimism going quickly through the water complex. And the actual property is just water to the chest coming out and then over the tube.
Marley and it will be wild. They're coming down towards the Asher Properties.
As clear of 4, the desk goes Tom Jackson and Dusty.
No, just the one to go for CIC and Vittoria Lee better. She goes up and over that one and completes with his cube meantime. Turbo, combination sponsored by TRM Cavallo. Saddle Stephanie. Judges placed on the personal score of 51.4. Just had one pole roll, worldwide show jumping. The Equi-Trek hollow goes Sarah Dowdley. Victoria Lee better 20 jumping, 20.8 time penalties. Not time for a stop on this course. She's up there in the leaderboard.
Clear the log at 9. Tom Jackson, Dusty Di Serrano, and Kate Day up to the plough tray at 21, and they're safely home. To complete, next away, Gonzalo Azevedo Silva and Imperial Dancer, number 810, 51.7 was their dressage. One pole down and 4 time penalties picked up in the show jumping. They'll be next away on the cross country course.
Moving skewed with Sarah Dowdley splashes through the Ashby's chest and just pops up that step out of the water and just one stride to the second skinny chest. She goes clear all one. The RK Harrison, the insurance brokers, Harrison at 20, Lucy Further goes clear of the both viewpond and the two pilots and to the hayrack and the Ivor.
Clear of the harbour at 15 goes Tom Jackson and Dusty up to the 4th. Imperial Dancer. Clear 4, they'll turn right-handed now to those couple of big logs under the little copse of trees. Meanwhile, clear of the water. The Ashby Property sponsored water at 16 goes Tom Jackson and Dusty. Tom Jackson and Dusty, they're home to complete. Safely through the boat tube on and out towards the hayrack at 11 goes Gonzalo Azevedo Silva and Imperial Dancer. Next away, Lizzie Doolittle on Penstrubbly Jubilee, number 812, just under 57.3, 1 down in the show jumping. Lizzie works for Vittoria Panizzon, previously worked for Austin O'Connor, so they will be next away.
Sam Griffiths is our fence judge at
It will. And finish with a nice bit of
steadying up on the first of those next two numbers are 27 and 8 on their way.
just waiting for Tego and in fact they are back in the view. So doing the viewpond. And they turn right and up the hill. Hey, right, get 11. And
urgent call, Victoria Panizzon. Here she comes. That's good. You are the last of these two starts. Thank you for leading away and relaxing the blood pressures of the collective experience and cross-country control and your grand jury and everybody else who will be on time completing. You have got about 8 to 9 minutes before you are due to go though. So well done. Thanks.
Vittoria. There's been a word recently double.
The brush box at 18, and Polly Chipton meanwhile, and the skiing, safely over 6, and the
Dick and Reader, the boat jet comes down to the Ashfield properties, that chest over the water collar, sort of rolls over that. But anyway, goes up a step and over the final glass rate to complete.
Polly and Skeens now approach the title sponsors Equi-Trek Hollow fence. 2 parts of that over the first safely as they drop into the dip and really accurately, and a nice big jump over the B parts of that. So they're kicking on out onto the left. Sponsored by Ashfield Properties, residential letting company in Yeovil, and Polly's making light work of that as she pops out over the third part.
Well, we saw some very fine jumping in our part of the course as Dick and Reader went round with Tracy James Brabanjo, and as he said, they've had a successful season. It's ended well, Dickon. 6 minutes 13 seconds. I reckon that's about the quickest since 9. I'm sure that'll improve on that 11th place after the dressage phase. Trev Van Der Beela B and Anna Hansen have a run out at the Equi-Trek Hollow at 14, coming back for a second attempt, but that'll be 20 penalties to add for missing that.
Polly Chipton meanwhile and skiing safe.
And dips out a second time. Can we get the red flag up there, please?
Phoebe Powell then and Kelly's lad clear the parallel at 13, so it now heads towards the difficult Equi-Trek Hollow fence at 14. Underway then, charming opposition, and Becky Littleton clear the first 2 fences, and Becky's the head girl at Trilby Cruise, and a run out at the second element of the Equi-Trek Hollow fence at 14 for Phoebe Powell and Kelly's lad.
Trilby Cruise and Shadow Chaser go clear of the both DuPont viaducts.
So that's the second run out, so total cumulative 3 run outs means elimination for Kelly's lad, so there'll be...
George is in the box, George the 5th actually. Flora Liskis riding this 12-year-old with a dressage score of 15.3, just 1 pole rolled show jumping, moved up to advance this season, competed in the Intermediate Championships at the Festival of Eventing, of course, at Gatcombe. And Flora, who's just started doing a property degree at Reading University, none better. Flora, best of luck there. Sorry, a little local interest. She worked in my office in Wimbledon for a bit, in the property world.
Very good, and I'm told very happy Becky Littleton and charming opposition. And Becky and charming opposition. Clear over the hay rack. He turns towards the Aldon corners, top right of the course. And the parallel at 13 as waiting to start, Vittoria Panizzon. And Chequers play the game, number 839. Dressage score of 40.2, nothing to add show jumping. This horse owned by Miss Amy Lambert and Mrs. Patricia Lambert and somebody else, it's cut off my page, but we wait for Vittoria to start.
Shadow Chaser. Down below us, Trilby Cruise, or Shadow Tracer, and they're now safely over that, and home. Laura Lickis goes on to the hanging log at 9.
Underway then, Chequers play the game, and Vittoria Panizzon, Miss Amy Lambert and Mrs. Patricia Lambert's Chequers, 12-year-old gelding with 86 points, sired by Travinsky. Get underway.
Over the corners goes George and Flora.
So just the one to go for Becky Littleton and charming opposition. Vittoria Panizzon, meanwhile, and Chequers play the game. Safe at over 5 and the hang logs at 6.
Victoria, 839, being the last of these CIC 2-star horses. When we get her home, there will be a short break of 20 minutes or so. We'll reset the course for our final session of the 100 competition for the weekend for Equi-Trek. George back a bit as they come down the hill to get balanced into that little skinny chest on the way to the water, splashes through there, up the steps, skews the back legs, they come out over the second of the chest, but all's well as they turn now left-handed into the Henry Diggs, the Dorchester Fine Art Auctioneers. Takes a long one there, as George, but they're clear, as the fence judge says, and that's the important bit.
As she approaches the parallel fence at 13, and with her score, total score of 40.2, means that she'll be not wishing to hang around because it's a very competitive score that, and certainly could put her right up in the lead there if we get round. So Vittoria then approaches the Equi-Trek hollow fence at 14.
Talking of flying on, George once again wastes not a second at that Chester's brush box, disappearing out of our sight for the run up through the trees to the final loop of fences to bring them to the finishing line.
No yokel here. Getting a line bang on again. Chequers play the game safely through Asheville Providence as they turn to the open ditch with a parallel over that and clear that in good style. So 4 fences for Chequers to play the game to complete as we see a turn right just underneath the tree to this narrow brush box fence. And accurately pop over that as they will be kicking on along the track now. Just 3 to jump for Vittoria Panizzon and Chequers play the game. As I say, 1 to watch and it'll be really interesting to see the time. Towards the swing left-handed to the hanging log or running down to trap step. Combination safely through the water at 16 goes Imperial Dancer. And a nice steady jump out over that open ditch parallel at 17. So just 4 to go for that combination, the first of which will be the Chester's Property Commercial Rush Box at 18.
Next away will be Natalie Gambit, who is the organiser of the Farley Horse Trials, and this one. And the result for Zigazag, the second, and Danny Evans, 7.2 time penalties, finishing on a score of 79 with 1 refusal.
So, commentary in a minute. Victory table at 19, so 2 to go for them, and safely over the RK Harrison houses. So just the 1 to jump before they finish.